Whatever you do, tell Mr. Varela never to send it to the cleaners.
Of course.
You do understand. It's a museum piece.
If you say so. Personally, I'm a wall-to-wall man.
But Mr. Varela is a collector. He has wanted this rug for years. The last time he was in my office, he begged me to sell it to him. You were there, Miss Carter. You heard.
I heard. You said you would never part with it.
What made you change your mind?
It's not in my nature to deprive Mr. Varela of a treasure he so desires.
Particularly if he's willing to pay for it.
But I'm asking a mere fraction of what it's worth.
Just what is the gentleman asking?
£800.
Guineas.
But I cabled your offer in pounds.
My mistake, possibly.
Yes. Perhaps we better wait till Mr. Varela gets back.
And how long will that be?
Several weeks.
But I understood he was going to Beirut this weekend.
Oh, Mr. Randall is going for him. Mr. Randall has joined Mercury International in charge of our Mediterranean division.
Mr. Randall, then perhaps it is of you that I could ask a little favor.
A little favor? Is that why you're going to sell Mr. Varela the rug, to soften him up?
No, I would not go back on my word. The rug is Mr. Varela's for 800 guineas. Pounds? He and I have been friends for a very long time. I know that he would want you to help me.
Just exactly what is it you want me to do?
Turkish coffee. Traditional when successful business transaction completed.
Well, thank you very much, Jim.
My brother-in-law, Constantine Basiliades. You have heard of him?
The art collector? Who hasn't?
He died a year ago. Well, now my sister has died as well. Only the little one is left, Nicola.
What a pretty child. How old is she?
A little older than that now. More a student, I think.
When both her parents are dead, huh?
An orphan. She is to come to London to live with me.
Coffee, lady.
I want you to bring her back with you.
But I'm not going to Gregoria. I'm going to Beirut.
She's in Beirut. She's been living there for the last year with her aunt.
But surely her aunt could bring her back to London.
I would not be happy.
Well, I don't know what Mr. Varela would say. But as you have just made £800, if you pay my expenses, including hotels and first-class air transportation,
I would be happy.
that makes two of us. Far be it from me to deny you your happiness. All right, I'll bring her back.
I knew that you would help me. At what hotel are you staying?
I booked you in at the Splendide.
Splendid. I mean, Splendide.
Thank you.
Shukran.
I'm Nikki.
Nikki? Oh, you're Nicola Basiliades.
Mhm.
Well, I thought that you'd be much younger.
Well, that isn't very flattering. I thought you'd be pleased.
I am. Won't you come in?
Thank you. We are quite alone?
Yes, quite alone. Why?
Oh, my uncle has not explained everything.
Only that he wants me to escort you back to England. I hope that you like the idea.
Of course. But the other matter is much more important.
The other matter?
My father's collection. You have heard of it?
The Basiliades collection, of course.
Mhm.
No, thank you.
Well, now that my father is dead, the collection belongs to me.
Yes, but I thought that it had been confiscated by the Gregorian government.
Well, if I were to tell you that the collection had been secretly taken out of Gregoria and hidden in the mountains for 14 years and is now here in Lebanon, Would you believe me?
Well, yes, if you tell me so.
Well, I do. It's within a few miles of us at this very moment.
Why are you letting me into this secret, Miss Basiliades?
Well, Uncle Georgie said that you would help me. The Basiliades collection is perhaps the finest collection of French antiques and furniture in the world. Here's the inventory. The figures are pre-war valuation. 4 million francs.
Nearly $1 million.
Perhaps more.
The Louis XV Coromandel lacquer commodes with the bronzes bearing Crown C, signed M. Criere. Empire Swan bed, Madame Recamier's leader of Poe. Have you still got all these?
Mm-hmm.
Could I see them?
Of course.
When?
Now, if you like.
Well, why not? Seems to be my day for seeing beautiful things.
Very sorry, but would you mind wearing this? It is for your own protection. If you're questioned later, you can say that you were blindfolded and you do not know where you were taken.
Well, anything to please a lady. Hey,
Still better for you.
why don't you tie my hands as well?
Oh, do be quiet. It's not every day that a gentleman is kidnapped by a lady. We are here. Oh, be careful. Let me take your hand. Careful. Theo! Here is an iron handle. Behind you is an iron ladder. Theo, take his feet.
Right.
Now climb down. Take off his blindfold.
Oh! It was for your own protection, Mr. Randall. If you really don't know where you were, no one could accuse you of being involved.
Particularly if I don't know what I'm involved in.
You want something to take the taste away?
No, thank you. I've been blacked out enough for one day. Canova?
Yes, nymph bathing.
Yes, I thought so. I've seen a lot of pieces by Canova in Europe.
Except for the books and paintings, this is my father's complete collection.
And you say it was hidden in the mountains?
For many years. It was brought out of Gregoria almost piece by piece.
Well, what's in here?
I don't know.
53. It will correspond with the inventory. I showed it to you. Theo, open the case. 53. Louis XVI, marquetry table, signed Fulham Benham.
The cabinet maker to the kings.
Oh, you know something about French antiques.
Well, enough to know that what you have here is priceless. What do you want me to do?
First, I wanted you to see the Basiliades collection to know that it still exists.
I'm satisfied.
Good. Now I want you to have it insured.
Insured?
It is necessary to have the collection insured before I can get a ship to transport it.
Well, it shouldn't be too difficult to arrange.
If you have the money, and if you are willing to show them what you are insuring.
If we did that, our government might learn where the collection is. They would take steps to recover it.
Yes, you've got quite a point there.
It belongs to my family. It is mine.
Wasn't there a law passed in your country recently confiscating such collections?
Confiscating? It was theft. What right had a government to do that?
Your government did just that.
Then they are robbers. And we dealt with them with the only way we could. Yes, we smuggled it out. We risked prison. These belong to me, and I shall defend them.
Well, you're doing pretty well so far.
But we've had to pay for it. Greedy officials quoting their new laws, but bleeding us with the bribes they took.
Yes, I can believe you. And now you have to get this out of the country, huh?
Yes, and we must do it secretly. For if the authorities here found out, they would have to return it to Gregoria. That is why we need you, Mr. Randall.
And you think I'm going to help you break the law?
Yes, because you know that this particular law is corrupt. Anyhow, it doesn't apply to you. All you have to do is to arrange the import into London and the insurance. All you have to know is the value of the cargo, not its place of origin. Besides, I think you will do it for other reasons.
What other reasons?
Because we need you.
Yes, well, Mercury International isn't exactly in this kind of business.
Well, your company will make a lot of money out of this if we are successful.
The collection will have to be valued.
Well, you have the inventory. Is that not sufficient?
That depends on the insurers.
Well, I have photographs.
That'd help.
A company such as yours should not have any difficulty. You have seen the collection. You can examine every piece if you wish. Would not the brokers take your word?
Possibly. Have you made the shipping arrangements?
The Konya, Turkish flag, calls here next week.
Konya. Is she registered at Lloyd's?
I'm not sure.
It's just that if she isn't, I think it makes a difference to the premium.
Will it be high?
Probably.
Oh, as I told you before, I have very little money. Would it be too much for you to advance the cost of the insurance premium? If in addition to your sales commission, we were to give you a percentage of what the collection sells for?
Well, that sounds very generous indeed. I'll have to check, but I guess it'll be all right. Well, what's in here?
71.
71. A bronze Ming horse, 987 BC, valued at $5,000.
All right. But if the Konya's calling here next week, we'll have to work fast. Now, I should imagine that only a syndicate would risk insuring a collection this valuable. It may take some time to get the underwriters together.
You will do this when we get to London?
No promises. That's up to the underwriters.
Your insurance.
If you insist.
I do.
Well, don't get up. It's nice of you to make yourself at home.
May we talk for a moment? I am Mr. Yanni.
Sure, you talk. I'll call the police.
I would not do that, Mr. Randall. It will only get you in trouble.
Me?
You see, you are involved in a matter in which you should not be involved.
Really?
In fact, I would suggest to you that you disassociate yourself from these people immediately. The police might misconstrue your motives.
There's someone I don't even know. You're taking a lot of interest in my personal affairs.
They are also the affairs of my country. You see, Mr. Randall, the collection belongs to Gregoria. It has been removed illegally.
What collection?
Oh, come now, Mr. Randall, you know what I'm talking about. There is only one collection hidden somewhere in or near or around this city.
I see. But you don't know exactly where.
As you say, not exactly. If I did, I would not be here. I should be in touch with the local authorities or confiscating the collection in the name of my country.
I see.
But we shall win in the end, for they cannot expect to get such a huge number of valuables out of the country. In order to do this, they need experience. They need a knowledge of import and export. No one with such knowledge would help them. No one, that is, who has his own interests at heart.
I get the message, Mr. Yanni.
Good. The collection belongs not to one private family, but to the country of its origin. It should be returned immediately.
There seems to be some difference of opinion about that.
We know it is hidden here. They cannot hope to keep it hidden forever. It would be desirable for you to tell me where it is.
But I don't know where it is.
Your company has just made a big deal in chemical glass. My country needs it. We would be willing to pay you much more than it is worth. There are many other things we would buy from you.
I don't do business that way.
Perhaps you will think it over. We could make it very difficult for you in this part of the world.
Is that all you have to say?
You are an intelligent man, Mr. Randall. I hope you will not do anything you will regret.
Hello, I want 2 airline reservations to London, please.
How did it go?
It was a predictable reaction. I think he will go through with it.
He didn't question your identity?
Oh, he was indignant. To get him to make up his mind quickly, I had only to convince him he was protecting the oppressed. Our Mr. Randall is a chivalrous and simple man. Let us proceed as planned.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Please, this is a business office.
Oops, I forgot that I was now regularly employed.
Well, see that you don't forget in the future. At least not in office hours.
Miss Carter, you are being chicken. There.
What is that?
It's a paperweight. Ancient Roman brick paperweight.
You seem very pleased with yourself. Big orders?
Yep, the biggest. Oh, by the way, who are our insurance brokers?
Turnbull, Bessings, and Wiggins. Mr. Truman Jones usually handles the company account.
Fine, get him on the phone. I got some business for him. Big business.
Shouldn't we cable Mr. Varela?
No, not until the deal's clinched. I don't want to have to disappoint him. I want to book a table for 2 at the Mirabelle at 8.
You sound like the last of the big spenders. What shall I wear?
Oh, sorry, Susie. This is a business appointment.
Mr. Truman Jones? Mr. Randall from Mercury International.
Hello, Mr. Jones? This is Bill Randall. Yes, that's right. I just recently joined the company. Look, Mr. Jones, we should like coverage on a shipment of antique furniture from Beirut to London. All risks, comprehensive. Yes, that's right. Subject to your acceptance of Westerby's valuation. And we'll just see what kind of a rate you can get for me, will you? All right, thank you. Goodbye. Now, Miss Carter, I want you to ring Westerby's the auctioneers and make an appointment for me to see Mr.
Pettigrew? That's the man Mr. Varela usually deals with.
Pettigrew, right. Today, if possible.
Item 324, an 18th century Loc du Japon inkstand. Mounted in Louis XVI period gilded bronze and decorated with St. Cloud soft paste flowers. This is the final piece offered today in the Martin Wainwright collection. Now, what am I offered? £100? £100 I'm offered for this rare inkstand representing the Japanese influence in the court of Louis XVI. 200? Thank you, sir. £200. 250? £250. 300? 300. 350. £350 I'm offered. Any further offer? And item 324 is sold for £350. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes today's sale.
Mr. Pettigrew?
Yes.
Mr. Pettigrew, my name is Randall. I believe Miss Carter from Mercury International telephoned.
Oh, you are a friend of Mr. Varela. Come in here. Now, what can I do for you?
I want to show you this. It's the inventory for the Basiliades collection.
The Basiliades collection, yes. Now, that is one of the finest collections of French furniture in the world. Owned by Napoleon, you know. He had it shipped to Gregoria after the Battle of the Pyramids. Intended to furnish a home for Madame quelque chose, but couldn't get rid of the husband. Very sad.
Terribly sad, yes. But I think that I may have found part of the collection.
Found the Basiliades collection? Oh, that is incredible. We'll look after it, of course. This will be the event of the London season, unquestionably. Where did you say you found it?
I didn't. I said I think I may have found part of it. I want you to appraise it for me.
Appraise it? Oh, yes, I'll do that with pleasure, but you say you haven't found it.
Mr. Pettigrew, I said I think I have found it. I can show you the inventory and some photographs of the collection. I should like to get a rough idea of the value for the insurers.
The insurers? Oh, yes, you'll have to have it insured. Thieves, brigands, all the collectors will be after it, or rascally lot, I can tell you. You see that piece over there? This console table, made by Jean-Baptiste Son, son of Claude Son, one of the greatest French furniture makers. Whole family of them, furnishers to the crown. Well, his father used to sign his work with a C. See? It looked like a G, very confusing. Well, most of his creations were destroyed during the French Revolution, but in the Basiliadis collection, there are 4 bergerie chairs and a table, all made by him. He even made a dog bed, which was at Fontainebleau. Priceless. Let me see this inventory. Louis XVI painted back chair, post in 18th century set and designed by Philippe de La Salle and woven in Lyon. Worth a fortune. Marquetry Guéridon with colored veneer. I can tell you, Mr. Randall, that is your name. We mustn't lose sight of this collection. It's worth at least $1 million, maybe more. Give me a day or two, and I'll send a full report into the insurance. They'll want a high premium.
Oh, yes, I expected that.
Yes, sir, of course. If the Mercury International is one of their best customers, they won't refuse you. Oh, this is a great event, Mr. Randall, a great event. Look at this, a Louis XV, carved and gilded canopy, signed Père Gourdin. I didn't even know that one still existed.
Oh, incidentally, Mr. Pettigrew, how much are Kerman rugs fetching this year? This one has a medallion center.
Kerman rugs, not to be mentioned in the same breath as an Empire Swan bed, I assure you. Very commonplace. About £500.
But I paid $800.
Oh, diabolical, Mr. Randall, diabolical.
So, you like Mr. Randall, eh? He is willing to help you?
Mm-hmm. I hope he won't get into any trouble.
Trouble? What kind of trouble can he get into? Only his credit rating can be affected. Better him than me.
He's asked me out to dinner tonight.
Go. But don't appear anxious. A large amount such as this, it may take time. His brokers may have to go to the insurers.
It's all too confusing. I don't understand.
That's why I suggested Mr. Randall. He will know what to do.
Supposing the government find where we've hidden the furniture in the meantime.
That is a risk we have to take. No insurance company wants to get mixed up with a government claim.
Mr. Randall, Mr. Truman Jones from Turnbull, Bessings & Wiggins, our insurance brokers. Mr. Randall is taking care of the business while Mr. Varela is away.
How do you do? How do you do?
It's a pleasure, Mr. Jones. Won't you sit down?
Hey, sure. Now, Mr. Randall, it is Mr. Randall, isn't it?
Yes.
Let me say in the beginning that from what you told me on the phone this morning, we shall want an exclusion.
An exclusion?
Declinature. A warranty that under this policy, excluding any loss or damage arising from any action by any government, such loss shall not be covered, etc., etc. Nothing personal, you understand? But we simply can't get mixed up with any foreign government.
Yes, of course. I'm sure that'll be satisfactory.
Is this the inventory?
That's right.
Now, what about packing?
Packing? All the packing. Well, what about it?
You are handling that?
Well, no.
Oh, then suppose we disallow any claim for breakage in transit.
But
Good, we'll attach a rider to that effect. Don't worry, never fear. The Marine boys will cover you up to $500,000. That's the principal concern. Naturally, you'll dispatch by classified ship.
a classified ship?
No, registered at Lloyd's.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm sure it is.
Are you? Not more than 20 years old, is she? Because in that case, we'll have to stiffen up the premium a bit. Now, about these sets.
Sets?
This of China is very valuable. Break one dish and you depreciate the value of the entire set. You understand, of course.
Of course.
Must be sure what we're covering. I'll add a rider to that effect.
You've seen the report from Pettigrew at Westerby's. I mean, the collection's worth far more than the insurance cover we're asking for.
Under-insuring?
Oh, no. I mean, yes, but the principals have agreed.
Doing us out of some premiums, eh?
Oh. Well, how much will it cost?
Mr. Randall means how soon can you get him a rate?
Oh, may take a couple of days. The Marine boys may want to split it up. My group will go for $250,000. Premium's going to be high, though. Probably 30 shillings a hundred, provided there are no jokers in the description of risk.
Last time you only charged us 22.
Oh, yes, Miss Carter, but that was different. We appraised the shipment, licensed carriers, etc., etc. Does it have to go by ship?
It's the only way.
Well, it's up to you. My syndicate's not too keen on these fancy gambles, but we've worked with Vrela a long time. Do our best to oblige you.
Splendid. I'm sure Mr. Varela will be very pleased.
We've had no cause to complain, although I must say you've asked us to cover some pretty strange risks. Still, if Mercury International's name is on the policy, my chaps would underwrite blue murder. Might have to ask you to give a personal underwrite of some of the risk, though.
You mean you want me to take some of the risk myself?
That's what I said, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Well, yes, I'm sure that'll be all right.
Good, good. Then count us in.
I hope he doesn't change his mind. We should have heard from Nicky by now.
Patience. There is yet time. We are not dealing with an amateur. He will have gone first to the appraisers, then to a syndicate.
Syndicate? I don't understand.
The insurers. In England, many wealthy men are members of insurance syndicates. It's like a club. Very exclusive. They pledge their own money to honor an insurance claim.
Why should they take a risk like that?
Because if there is no claim, the premiums are divided between them.
Telegram.
From London. He has got the insurance. Find the captain of the Conyer. Tell him everything is arranged. We can start loading immediately. Dock inside the breakwater. Get on with the work. There is much to be done.
I should never have agreed. It is far too risky.
Why should you be worried? Mr. Randall is not concerned.
But if anything happens, it is I who will get into trouble. The insurance is in my name.
How can that be? Mr. Randall paid the premium. The insurance should be in his name.
See for yourself. I did just as you said. I told him that I trusted him, and as that he had paid the premium, the policy was in his name. But it is a legal point. The policy must be under the name of the owner of the property. It doesn't matter who pays for the premium.
So, then the money will be paid to you direct.
If it is paid.
Oh, it will be, Nicky, it will be.
Oh, something will go wrong. I feel it here. We will be caught. I will be put in jail. We must go no further.
It's too late. We cannot back out now. The Conyer has already sailed.
Hello? No, I'm afraid he's not yet. About 9:30, yes. What? Oh, no. Yes, I'll tell him. He'll be expecting you.
Ah, good morning, good morning. Or isn't it?
No, it isn't. The ship carrying the furniture has sunk.
Sunk?
Mr. Truman Jones from the brokers on the telephone. He'll be right over. He sounded upset.
He's upset.
I don't know if there's anything in the papers about it. I haven't looked yet.
Look, you'd better call Miss Basiliades. This is going to be quite a shock for her. No, there doesn't seem to be anything about a shipwreck in here. Maybe it's too early.
Hello?
I think I got her out of bed.
Hello, Nicky. Look, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. The Conyer has sunk.
The Conyer sunk? Are you sure?
Yeah, I just heard from the insurance company.
Maybe it's a mistake. Could have been another ship.
Perhaps, but I doubt it. Usually the insurance company's the first to know.
And what about my furniture? Is it all lost?
Well, I haven't got any details. I'll call you back as soon as I talk to the adjuster.
There will be no trouble with the insurance?
Well, I shouldn't think so, unless they want to try and salvage the ship.
Salvage?
Recover part of the shipment. Look, I'll call you back as soon as I can.
He thinks the insurance company may want to salvage the ship.
The water around Cyprus is very deep. I don't think they can reach it.
But what if they did?
But why should they? The evidence should be clear. An explosion. On the surface, there will be oil, some pieces of furniture, boards from the packing cases. They're all marked. Randall saw them. They will have to pay.
I better ring Beirut.
I do not think that would be wise. With insurance companies, you can never tell. Something might get reported. No, the phone would be risky. We will wait. Randall will be able to tell us what happened.
Well, what happened?
That's what I wish you'd tell us.
You mean you don't know if the ship sunk or not?
It's sunk, all right. Just off Cyprus. They saw the explosion from the shore.
Explosion? Anyone killed?
Not so far as we know. The explosion was in the hold. The crew got off in boats before the ship went down. Our agent in Beirut's investigating. This is going to be a rough one to take.
Look, you've had ships sink before.
Not an old tub worth of fourpence. And a cargo worth $1 million. My syndicate gets a whole load of bricks. We weren't able to spread this one around. The whole thing is slightly fishy, wouldn't you say?
Now, listen.
It'll have to be investigated. We've got one of the toughest loss adjusters in the country onto it. They'll have divers there in hours.
I want this thing cleared up, too, for my own sake.
That's right. You stand to take a whacking if we don't pay. Sorry, I didn't mean to suggest.
I understand.
It's just that you paid the premium, and you also agreed to cover part of the loss. We wouldn't have taken this one if your company hadn't been involved.
I know.
There are some unusual elements.
Nothing was hidden.
What do you really know about this girl?
Well, I know this much. If you settled this claim today, she'd still be the loser. Westerby's appraised this collection. Pettigrew thinks that she'd get double the insured amount if she sold in London.
That's right. The collection was underinsured. Was that your idea or hers?
Mine. Under the circumstances, I didn't think you'd want to go along with a full valuation.
Probably right. You don't suppose the collection could have been faked? Reproductions, that sort of thing. At least that would have provided a motive for blowing it up.
No. No, I saw this collection. It was genuine.
Oh, well, I suppose you may as well know part of the wreckage was recovered. Back of a chair, some ornamental fluting. I'm having it sent to London by air express. Perhaps you'd like to take it to your friend, Mr. Pettigrew, and see if he still thinks it genuine.
And where does that leave you?
Right in the middle. Look, I'd like you to try and get Professor Wiggins of Oxford on the phone.
Who's he?
He's a friend of mine. He's probably the greatest authority on Roman and Phoenician culture in the world. He used to be in the American University in Beirut. He knows the location of every Roman brick in the Lebanon. Well, ring Pettigrew. Say we'll be sending him these pieces of furniture and we'll want him to tell us if they're genuine.
No, it's genuine, all right. About 1772. The carving follows the Delanois line exactly.
Couldn't it be a reproduction carved in old wood?
My dear sir, I'd like to see the wood carver alive today that could have done this. This design is cut in the actual back of the chair. Now the pieces will be carved separately and glued on. None of the craftsmanship. They turn them out on a lathe.
What about this ormolu mounting?
Absolutely genuine. At least 180 years old. Pity. It would have been the sale of the century.
Any luck?
Professor Wiggins thinks that the prison where the furniture is stored has to be under one of two places. A Crusader castle at Byblos or at Sidon. Both are over Roman ruins and both are on the sea.
According to Pettigrew, those furniture pieces are undoubtedly genuine.
Then presumably the whole collection is at the bottom of the sea. Why are you looking for a castle?
Because it's worth a second look. Well, what a surprise. Won't you come in?
I'm sorry to come here, but I must talk with you, privately. There is still no word from the insurance company yet?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it, Nicky.
Well, how long do you think it'll take?
The investigation? No, it's difficult to say. Sometimes these claims take months to settle. But I wouldn't worry about it.
Investigation sounds like being accused of something.
No, of course not. It's just routine.
Insurance companies have to satisfy themselves that the facts are correct. Sometimes they're able to recover shipments that have been lost.
They never give up hoping that it's not a total write-off.
And what about you? You took part of the risk.
Well, all I can do is to wait.
I feel I've let you down borrowing money from you to pay the premium.
It was a fair agreement.
If you could get the brokers, I mean if you could use your influence to get them to settle quickly, then I could pay back the premium. I mean...
There's no rush.
As you took part of the risk, if you were to pay up, wouldn't the other brokers pay up too? Of course, then I'd tear up your check and be satisfied with what I get from them.
Tell me, have you discussed this with your uncle?
I thought we could keep this between ourselves.
It's important that you get this money immediately.
Very.
Why?
I told you when we first met, I've got no money.
Well, I can give you a check.
That should take care of your living expenses for the time being. You can pay me back later.
You don't understand. I need a great deal of money. I owe it to the people who got me out of the country, the ones that moved the collection. I have been threatened.
Threatened?
I'm frightened. You will get them to pay the insurance now, won't you?
I'll do what I can. Now, you go home and don't worry about it. I'll call you as soon as I can.
But I thought that you were...
I've called a car for Miss Basiliades. The driver's waiting to take her home.
Thank you.
Her perfume is rather strong, isn't it?
Did you tape the conversation?
Including your heavy breathing.
Did you believe it?
Elizabeth Taylor couldn't have done better.
I don't know. She just might be telling the truth. Nobody offers to forego that amount of money unless they are very worried indeed.
Mr. Truman Jones from the brokers.
Oh, have him come in.
I thought I should deliver this personally.
$500,000. It's quite a lot of money.
The assessors are satisfied, paid in full, apart from what you yourself have underwritten. So if anything is recovered, it belongs to the insurers. Seems to be no doubt it's a loss. Pettigrew reports that the stuff they picked out of the water is undoubtedly genuine.
Did they find out what caused the explosion?
Number 2 hold was full of rice. It could have sweated and produced an explosive gas.
I think I'll hang on to this for a while, just in case.
It won't be necessary. We've been hit worse. It'll raise your rating a bit, though, I'm afraid.
I couldn't have expected anything else.
Just a formality, you understand. We still want your business. Don't worry, I'll see myself out.
You'd better call Miss Basiliades. She'll be pleased that the insurance claim's been paid. On second thoughts, don't. Get me 2 reservations to Beirut. Tell Chin to get packed. I may need some help.
Sidon. That was the largest city in Phoenicia. The Egyptians occupied it in the 7th century before Christ. Alexander the Great captured it.
Knowledge, very impressive. Very historical. What about castle?
Oh, it's got a castle, all right. One of the oldest, right on the harbor.
Older than Byblos?
That's too old. It's the oldest city in the world.
Okay, Sidon. How far?
25 miles. That'll be about right. With Nicky at the wheel, it took us 30 minutes.
Hey, we're getting warm. I remember this ladder. I nearly broke my neck on it.
Wouldn't a lot of tourists come here?
No, I doubt it. Guided tours don't exactly encourage old ladies climbing down vertical ladders. You better close that grill. Well, this is where the collection was, but... Hey, it looks like another chamber through here. And it's made with Roman brick.
Modern padlock. Anticipated such contingency. Don't understand how antique furniture could be hidden here. Too many people see it being moved in.
Well, they could have brought it by ship at night. This tunnel could lead to a jetty. Uh-huh. You know, they probably filled those packing cases with bricks, shipped a few pieces of furniture to be found as evidence among the wreckage. Almost classical in its simplicity.
But what she do with furniture now? This collection very well known. How can she sell without insurance company and Gregorian government finding out?
Dispose of it piece by piece over a long period of time. Nobody would associate it with the Basiliades collection. Remember, there were no pictures, no books, nothing that could easily be traced.
Yet everything here is valuable antique.
Don't you see what the plan was? She knew that we couldn't reveal the existence of the collection to a dealer without her government getting to know about it.
How? Dealer tell?
They'd have to advise her government it's compulsory.
And one story appear in newspapers, Basiliades collection lost in shipwreck, and insurance company confirm story, then government think that the end of that.
Meanwhile, she collects the insurance money, then sells the collection separately. Very neat and very profitable.
Your position not so profitable, very vulnerable. If government here find collection, they return it to Gregoria, while insurance company not refund your premium to you.
Unless I buy the collection.
Cost more money than you got.
Maybe not.
Hey, boss.
What have you got there?
Dynamite.
Must be what they used to blow up the ship. They didn't miss a trick, did they?
But how could he find these plans? You are sure the blindfold was not taken off till he got here?
I am sure.
I do not understand why you are so certain he is back in Beirut.
Because I saw a map of Beirut on his desk.
That proves nothing.
He tried to hide it from me. Why? Before I left, he promised to phone me in a day or two. But he didn't. So when I called the office, they wouldn't tell me where he was.
Well, he may have gone anywhere. On a business trip.
Then why didn't his secretary say so? No, I trust my intuition. So I took the first flight here. The door's open.
All right, Mr. Randall, you can come out. I have a pistol. Your feet are showing.
I was hoping that you wouldn't notice. Well, Nicky, how nice to see you. My, you do get around. And Mr. Yanni, don't tell me that the Gregorian government is mixed up with this swindle.
Yanni is not with the government.
Oh, well, you were very convincing. Perhaps if I had a word with the Foreign Office.
How did you find this place?
Well, I'm fascinated with old ruins. It was the Roman brick. There are only a few places around Beirut where they're still to be found.
What shall we do with him?
If I could make a suggestion, let Mercury International buy the collection.
What?
Well, you and Yanni are in enough trouble already. Shooting me will only get you in deeper. Besides, the insurance company has already paid the claim.
So you have the money?
Of course.
Good, it worked. Hand it over.
Oh, please, wait a minute. We can't keep it now. That would be dishonest.
Don't be a fool. We'll cut you in a quarter.
You'd have to do better than that. Any offers, Nicky?
Half. Don't move.
Don't be melodramatic. It's only a pen. Here. Sit down and write. I, Nicola Basiliades, for the sum of $100,000 and other good and valuable considerations, sell to Mercury International Limited the entire Basiliades collection.
You're mad.
You really don't have much choice, and I'm being very generous.
Don't do it. This man is crazy.
It's at least 20 years for conspiracy to defraud an insurance company if you return to England. On the other hand, if you remain here, your government will commence extradition proceedings and you'll be returned to face prison in your own country. They'll also impound the collection. Now, why not be sensible? I'm offering you the chance to sell at a reasonable price, and we can forget the whole matter.
And what about the insurance company?
I'll withdraw the claim and return the money. They'll still keep the premium, so they'll be satisfied.
But Gregoria will still impound the collection.
Well, they think it's at the bottom of the sea. I'll arrange to have it moved and sold separately abroad.
I took you for an honest man, and now you're stealing my ideas.
Well, there's nothing dishonest about it. Everyone benefits, and in this way I can buy back from the insurance the rights of salvage.
No. The collection is worth millions. You can't get away with it.
Drop gun!
I wish you wouldn't play with fire, Chin. It's bad for my nerves. Almost burnt your fingers, too.
It seems we have no choice. Sell him the collection. At least we get something out of it.
Get something out of it? You speak as if I were a criminal.
Well, what you've been doing isn't exactly illegal in any country. But thank you for saving me from getting shot.
Bill, you must understand. I was only trying to protect my own property.
Well, what about this insurance swindle?
When I received that money, I was going to hand over the entire collection to the insurer.
Nicky!
It was the only way of selling the collection. That was why I didn't mind cheating you a little. Because I knew in the long run you'd do very well.
I'd like to believe you.
You don't have to. This was all I had. Perhaps it was wrong to pretend it had all been lost at sea. But much wrong has been done to me. In the end, I knew nobody would be out of pocket.
All right, boys, put away the guns and the dynamite. I'm going to take another chance. We are going into partnership, Nicky and I.
But, Mr. Lando...
Let us put up with a little wrong to do a little right, Chip. I will contribute the know-how. This will be a joint effort in exporting and selling. I shall expect favorable but not excessive terms.
Thank you, Bill.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, who thought up this idea? Your uncle?
Yes, but he did do it for the best.
Possibly. But in that case, we must make an adjustment. I shall have to deduct 300 guineas from the purchase price. Your Uncle Georgie not only hooked me with a rug, he overcharged me for it.